Finally, I got into the 190s. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 2 of Road to Losing Weight. I'm probably going to be lazy and not put the words up here like I did in the first video. And if you want to see the first video, I'll leave a link to it in the description. But for those that haven't seen it, what I'm doing with the series is I'm kind of keeping progress of me losing weight. So to show you that if I can do it, you can do it too. So here's a quick recap. My goal is to lose 30 pounds before I go back to college back in August. And I started on May 16th at 210 pounds. It is now June the 12th, and I have lost 11 pounds since then, so I'm 199 at this very moment. And it felt like it took forever for me to get to this point. But in actuality, I'm actually doing pretty good for myself because I think the average person is only supposed to lose around 8 pounds a month, but I've lost 11, so I'm around 3 pounds above average. So another quick reminder, if I don't hit my goal of losing 30 pounds by the time I go back to school, I'm going to cut off all my facial hair and I won't watch any anime for an entire month. But if I do hit my goal, I will treat myself to going to a Mr. Gatti's, which is a pizza buffet. So what I like to do in these videos is talk about what I've been doing since the last video, which has been 16 days since then, and then also talk about some tips and stuff that I'm doing to help myself and also give you guys some encouragement. So what have I been doing since the last video? Well, I've been doing some good things and I've been doing some bad things. Let's start off with the bad things first. Well, first off, on the day I recorded my first video of Road to Losing Weight, which was on May the 26th, my dad had actually brought home some Dairy Queen for dinner that night, and it was my favorite, which is the chicken strip basket. And I couldn't resist, I ate it all. But then my dad was like, okay, I won't do this to you anymore because now he knows that I was really on a diet and I really want to stick to it. But guess what happens 2 days later? He brought home some freaking Burger King for lunch, and guess what? I ate that too, I know. Shame on me, but you know, he brought it for me, I'm gonna eat it. But the good news is that he hasn't brought me any fast food since that day. But the bad news is that actually earlier on that same day, I had brought myself some Wendy's for lunch because I could have told myself no to going to Wendy's, but I just had a taste for it, so I went and got myself some. And then my dad brought home some Burger King and I ate that too, so man, I was doing bad that day. And guess what? I do have a cherry on top to that whole entire day. And the cherry on top is that I actually went to DQ and got myself a Blizzard because I wanted to try out that Jurassic Park Smash Blizzard. And so, yep, I ended up having a Blizzard that day too. So that is the day known as the day that I completely and utterly broke my diet. So with all the bad out the way, let's go and talk about some good. And one of the good news is that I haven't broken my diet like that since that day. It's been around 15 days since then, and today being June the 12th, so I haven't broke my diet like that since then. Well, I did have one small McFlurry over sometime during these past 15 days. I can't remember when. But other than that one McFlurry, I've been good. I've been a good boy. Okay, story time. So on the day that I had the Burger King, the Wendy's, and the Dairy Queen, I was out doing errands with my dad, and it was nearing towards the end of the day, and guess what my dad does? He drives into a Golden Corral, and for those that don't know, that's a buffet. And you know what I told my dad? I said no, and guess what? We went on home. So yeah, the buffet was right in front of me, and I said no, but we did end up going to DQ to get Blizzards. That's how I ended up getting that Blizzard that day. Okay, more story time. So for reasons that I don't feel like explaining here, I ended up going to a Mr. Gatti's. And for those that don't remember, I said that I wouldn't be going to a Mr. Gatti's until I lost 30 pounds. And again, I don't feel like explaining why I was there, but I was there. And guess what? I didn't eat anything. The food was right there in front of me. I had already paid I paid my own way to get into this Mr. Gatti's, and I didn't eat anything. All I had was a couple of Diet Cokes. And on top of all that, I was there for like 2.5 hours. So for 2.5 hours, I resisted eating any pizza or even a salad. So I was doing really good that day. So I think those two instances of me resisting going to those buffets definitely balanced out letting me have that one McFlurry, right guys? Okay, one more small thing I can add on to the good, and that is that I've switched over from normal soda to diet soda, and this has to be like the best diet soda I've ever had. It is really good. So what have I been doing to help myself lose weight? Well, in the first video, I talked about how I was cutting out the junk food and how I stopped going to fast food restaurants. And again, I've been doing pretty good since that last video. Besides from the day I broke my diet and that one McFlurry, I've been doing really good. So let's go ahead and talk about some more food-related stuff. And the first food-related thing I want to talk about is how you shouldn't be eating till you're full. So yeah, do not eat till you're full, but eat to where you are satisfied, because again, if you eat more food than you probably should be, of course that's going to add on weight. All because someone puts a plate of food in front of you doesn't mean you gotta eat it all. So yeah, only eat till you're satisfied, not till you're full. So my next piece of advice is don't be eating when you're not hungry, or in other words, don't be snacking all the time, because that's what I used to do between meals, because before I started this diet, because what I would do, I would eat chips, I would eat honey buns, or some type of snack between meals. Sometimes when I'm watching a YouTube video, I would go get myself some Pop-Tarts and just eat that while I'm watching the video, and I wouldn't even be hungry. I would just be eating just to eat. Don't do that. If you have to eat something between meals, make sure it's something healthy like a granola bar or some fruit. So my next piece of advice is that you should be eating. Do not starve yourself. I repeat, do not starve yourself, because what ends up happening is if you starve yourself, your body will go into fat storage mode. And guess what? That means your body will be storing fat and will actually be taking energy from your muscles. You don't want to lose muscle, you're trying to lose fat. Yes, if you starve yourself, you'll probably lose 5 pounds really quickly, but after that, you'll plateau. So make sure you eat, and make sure that you eat right. So what else have I been doing? Well, of course, I've been exercising. But I'll be talking about my exercise routine in the next video, and I'll make my next video when I get into the lower half of the 190s, maybe like 194, 193, I'll make my next video. So I'm thinking about go ahead and wrapping up this video here. So let's go ahead and do a quick recap of the things I've said in this video, and that is don't eat till you're full, but you're satisfied. Don't be eating when you're not hungry, and make sure that you eat because you don't want your body going into fat storage mode. And guys, I really am doing what I'm preaching to you, because again, I want to show you guys that if I can do it, you can do it too. So I'll be making my next video when I get into the lower half of the 190s, and I'll be talking about my exercise routine. So if you guys like this video, like the video, and if you like me, subscribe to me. And as always, this is DDG the Man, and I'll catch y'all next time.